June 1876, the Greasy Grass Valley trembles with the hoofbeats of war. George Armstrong Custer, America's golden hero, leads 600 cavalrymen, certain he'll crush a handful of savages by dusk. But waiting in the shadows are 2,500 Lakota, Cheyenne, and Arapaho warriors, united by a seer's vision and a carved arrow's vow. A shattered shield, a skull-shaped cloud, and a whispered curse foretell doom. This is Little Bighorn, where a legend fell to an alliance forged in fire. What united these tribes? What secrets linger in the plains? Join Frontier Chronicles to uncover the truth. Hey folks, welcome to Frontier Chronicles, broadcasting from the windswept plains of Bozeman, Montana, where the ghosts of history still whisper. I'm Jake Harlan, and today, we're stepping into June 1876, where the Greasy Grass Valley pulsed like a living beast, its heart beating with the fury of 1,000 warriors. George Armstrong Custer, the golden-haired hero of the Civil War, led 600 men of the 7th Cavalry, brashly believing he'd scatter a ragtag band of savages by sundown. But he rode into a storm unlike any other, a grand alliance of Lakota, Cheyenne, and Arapaho, forged under the spiritual fire of Sitting Bull and the tactical genius of Crazy Horse. This isn't just a battle, it's the moment the Great Plains roared. Let's dive into the spark that lit the fuse. The Powder River country was a tinderbox by 1876. The 1868 Fort Laramie Treaty had promised the Black Hills to the Lakota, a sacred land of buffalo and spirits, but by 1874, 15,000 gold prospectors, backed by U.S. greed, swarmed in, shattering the treaty, as D. Brown details in Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee. The Lakota, led by Hunkpapa Chief Sitting Bull, refused to bend. A mystic and warrior, Sitting Bull called for unity, drawing Oglala, Minneconjou, and Sans Arc bands to a massive village of 10,000 along the Little Bighorn River, per Nathaniel Philbrick's The Last Stand. Crazy Horse, the Oglala war leader, brought his unmatched cunning, his riders painting their horses with handprints to defy bullets, as Robert Utley notes in Cavalier in Buckskin. Days before the battle, Sitting Bull held a sundance ceremony, a sacred rite of sacrifice. He danced for hours, arms pierced with bone skewers, blood soaking the earth, until a vision came, soldiers falling like leaves from the sky, a prophecy of victory, per Brown. This wasn't just faith, it was a war cry that united tribes once divided by old grudges. The Northern Cheyenne, led by 2 Moons, joined with their elite dog soldiers, warriors who tied themselves to the ground with leather cords, vowing to fight until death, per Philbrick. Their belief, fallen warriors became thunder in the sky. The Arapaho, a smaller band, arrived unbidden, their scouts moving like ghosts, led by an unnamed warrior who saw smoke form a skull over the Bear Butte, a dire omen, as Utley records. In 1877, a Crow scout found a Lakota arrow near the Greasy Grass, carved with "United We Stand," in Sioux script, half buried in the dirt. Was it a pact sealed in blood? A Cheyenne elder, Black Elk, spoke in 1880 of a dream before the battle, the grass whispered of blood, and the wind carried our names. In 1885, a trader at Standing Rock found a beaded Lakota pouch, marked with a sun shield and left near the river. Did it belong to Sitting Bull's warriors? The alliance wasn't just a strategy, it was a sacred vow to protect the land. Why did these tribes set aside ancient rivalries? What did that arrow signify? Whose dream foretold the storm? Hey folks, Jake Harlan back with Frontier Chronicles, straight from the pulsing heart of Bozeman, Montana. We're charging into the fire of June 25, 1876, where the Greasy Grass Valley erupted in a clash that turned George Armstrong Custer from a Civil War hero into a fallen legend. Last time, we saw the Lakota, Cheyenne, and Arapaho forge a sacred alliance under Sitting Bull's vision of soldiers falling like leaves, as D. Brown recounts in Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee. Today, we dive into the battle itself, Crazy Horse's deadly spiral, 2 Moons' lightning strikes, and the Arapaho's silent blades. This is where the plains roared, let's ride into the storm. The Little Bighorn River glittered under a merciless sun, but the air was thick with tension. Custer, commanding 600 men of the 7th Cavalry, split his force into three, ignoring Crow scouts' warnings of a 10,000-strong native village, as Nathaniel Philbrick details in The Last Stand. His 268-man battalion charged toward Destiny, underestimating the fury of 2,500 warriors, fueled by the U.S.'s betrayal of the 1868 Fort Laramie Treaty with 15,000 Black Hills prospectors, per Robert Utley's Cavalier in Buckskin. Sitting Bull, the Hunkpapa spiritual leader, stayed in camp, guiding with prayers, while Crazy Horse, the Oglala war chief, unleashed his spiral tactic, riders circling like a whirlwind, tightening the noose, as Brown describes. The battle ignited when Major Marcus Reno's 140 men attacked the village's southern end, only to be repelled by Hunkpapa Chief Gall's ferocious countercharge, per Philbrick. Crazy Horse led 1,000 Lakota and Cheyenne warriors, their horses painted with handprints, cutting through Custer's ranks on Last Stand Hill. 2 Moons and his Cheyenne dog soldiers, tethered to the earth by leather cords, struck like thunder, refusing to yield, as Utley notes. The Arapaho, a small band led by an unnamed scout, slipped through the chaos, severing Custer's supply lines with ghost-like precision. In under 2 hours, Custer's 268 men were gone, no survivors, per Brown. In 1878, a cavalry scout found a shattered Lakota sun shield near Last Stand Hill, its edges stained with blood, marked with victory or death. Did it belong to Crazy Horse's warriors? A Cheyenne tale, recorded in 1883, spoke of a warrior seeing a cloud twist into a skull before the fight, echoing the Arapaho's omen, per Philbrick. The alliance's unity, forged from old rivalries, overwhelmed Custer's arrogance. Why did he split his men? Whose shield broke in the dust? What did the sky foretell? Hey folks, Jake Harlan here, wrapping up our epic saga with frontier chronicles from the windswept plains of Bozeman, Montana. We've charged through the fire of Little Bighorn, June 25, 1876, where the Lakota, Cheyenne, and Arapaho, led by Sitting Bull, Crazy Horse, Gall, and 2 Moons, crushed George Armstrong Custer's 268-man battalion in a storm of arrows and war cries, as D. Brown recounts in Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee. This wasn't just a victory, it was the pinnacle of native resistance, a fleeting blaze before the U.S. struck back. Today, we explore the brutal aftermath, the enduring legacy of the Alliance, and a final relic that whispers of the plains' unyielding spirit. Let's close this out with thunder. The Greasy Grass victory stunned the nation. Custer, the Civil War hero, became a martyr, his defeat splashed across newspapers, fueling calls for revenge, as Nathaniel Philbrick details in The Last Stand. The U.S. Army, humiliated by the loss of 268 men to 2,500 warriors, intensified the Sioux campaign, ignoring the broken 1868 Fort Laramie Treaty that sparked the war with 15,000 Black Hills prospectors, per Robert Utley's Cavalier in Buckskin. By 1877, Sitting Bull fled to Canada, Crazy Horse surrendered and was killed under murky circumstances, and the Cheyenne and Arapaho were scattered, as Brown notes. The Alliance's triumph couldn't stop the flood of settlers or the Army's relentless pursuit, which forced most tribes onto reservations by 1880. Yet, the spirit of Little Bighorn endures. The 2003 Indian Memorial at the battle site honors Sitting Bull, Crazy Horse, 2 Moons, and even the unnamed Arapaho scout, shifting focus from Custer's myth to native resilience, per Philbrick. In 2025, Lakota descendants fight in court, citing the 1868 treaty to reclaim the Black Hills, per recent legal filings. In 1983, a prairie fire uncovered a stone circle near the Greasy Grass, etched with Arapaho, we stood. A Lakota elder, Singing Wolf, claimed it marked the Alliance's vow, the land will sing when we return. A 1880 Trader's Journal, found in 1995, recorded a Cheyenne prophecy, the grass will curse those who forget us. The victory was a flash of defiance, but the cost was crushing. The plains fell silent, yet the Alliance's echo lives on. Why couldn't the triumph last? What does that stone circle hide? Will the grass's curse lift? Drop your thoughts below, hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and ring the bell for more Frontier Chronicles.